Love never fails. That's another big word. Can you use the word never? We do. Never and always are God words to me. They're words that only God really can use. God will always protect you. He will always trust. He will always hope. He will always persevere. And He will never fail. That is a high standard. A high standard. God rises to that challenge. It is written in Isaiah 55, verses 8 and 9. My ways aren't your ways. My thoughts aren't your thoughts. And we can see that from that list we looked through. His ways are unlike our ways. He always hopes. He never takes into account wrong. He is always patient. He will always persevere. He will never fail. My ways are not your ways, and my thoughts are not your thoughts. As high as the heavens are above the earth, so are my ways above your ways, and my thoughts above your thoughts. Such a high standard. Would it be because that's what works? Wouldn't that make sense? He has such a high standard because it works. In the end, it's the only thing that will work. Are you moved by a character in a movie that gives all? By the quarterback giving all? By the teacher who took time just for you? Or are you moved by someone who just kind of gets by? What inspires you? What are you drawn to? If you have or had children, would you want the best for them? Or just, I hope my children get by. I hope my children just get by. Have you ever felt that hole in your heart? That churning, that emptiness? Jesus called it a thirst. You ever felt that? What is this all about? You can accept what's becoming the common thinking. It's just this big accident. Seems like all the people that are accepting that just find a bigger hole in their heart is all. What is it all about? That high standard is the only thing that will fill the heart. Recognizing God looks at you, He looks at me, and He says to Kevin, I'm never going to fail, Kevin. I'm not going to give up on you. I will always be patient with you. I will be kind to you, even when you're not kind to me. And in turn, I find the more I recognize that about God, I find my heart becomes more filled with love. It makes me want to become a better person. It draws me to His way. My response is to reach out to Him because He reached out to me. Not because I have to, but because now I want to. I could never be that. I could never be patient, kind. I could never not take into account a wrong suffered. I would be rude. Is that what God thinks? Is that what God thinks about you and me? You're back to thinking you have to reach out to God if you think, I could never be that. I could never be all those qualities of love. He will reach out to you. He promised us in this text. He who began a good work in you will complete it. He's promised. You don't have to feel a pressure about this. It'll just happen. Just like you just grew up. Did you, when you were 5 or 6, say, I got to make myself taller today? When you were 12 months, did you say, I've got to make myself stand up? Do you remember thinking that way? It just happened. It just happened. You just grew up. God will make sure that we just grow up. It's not on us. It's not a burden to carry. When he said, my yoke is easy and my burden is light, you know what I think he meant by that? I think he meant that his yoke is easy and his burden is light. I think he meant, it'll work out, children. Don't get anxious about it. It'll happen. It's good news. He's promised. He's begun working in each of us, and he will finish it.